One of the key considerations in relation to climate engineering ethics is questions of authorization and legitimacy. So there are concerns for example, that there are possible futures in which a single state could, in a situation of desperation, implement a climate engineering program which would have the potential to have serious transboundary impact. And so there'd be a concern that such a state would be going beyond their legitimate authority, given that there'd be the potential for their actions to have serious impact on the citizens of, for example, other states and even intergenerationally.
The role of biofuels raises important regulatory issues in the context of the EU and also globally. So biofuels are a very big component of carbon removal technologies at the moment. They must be grown somewhere. Where they are grown could have different sustainability standards, and there could be, for example, a rush to produce at lowest cost, which could come at the expense of sustainability. For example, in global south regions or in non-EU jurisdictions. So regulations on the sustainable production of biofuels is very, very important, I think, going forward. And it will be, I think, a priority for the EU in the next few years.
Right now, so turning to the question of net zero. So if you look at the different countries' NDCs, their nationally determined contributions as part of the Paris Agreement, you can see that many countries refer to net zero objectives as part of their mitigation objectives. And this raises several issues. Two important issues are the following. The first one is that many countries don't explain what they mean exactly by net zero emissions by 2030, 2040 or 2050. What kind of technology do they want to rely on? Is it BECCS, so bioenergy with carbon storage and capture? Is it some other form of negative emissions, for instance, direct air capture? They need to be more specific about what they mean with net zero. That's the first issue. And the second issue is that they don't sufficiently address the risk that those carbon dioxide removal or negative emissions can start working as a substitute for emissions reductions. So if this happens, if negative emissions start working as a substitute for emissions reductions, there's a high risk that we won't sufficiently decarbonize the world economy by 2050. And by the end of the century, it means that the climate impacts will be much more important than we think. So it can lead to catastrophic results. So it's very important that countries also explain not only how they will reach net zero in terms of technologies, but also that they affirm or reaffirm the priority of emissions reductions over negative emissions.